Welcome to Careless Whispod, the podcast where we aim to answer the question, what was it Meatloaf wouldn't do for love?
Yes, tonight's the night we're going to make things happen. The first inaugural episode, we're talking about the Pointer Sisters' classic track, I'm So Excited. And Gary, right. I'm so excited.
I know, we've put all other things aside.
We have. We just can't hide it. And I mean, you insisted that we do this without pants, so it's very hard to hide it.
Sure, who we? That was my... that was what I thought when I saw you without the pants. Off to an awkward start. Here we go.
Well, let's get into it. Look, so we're going to bore you with some facts first.
Yeah.
The Pointer Sisters' classic, I'm So Excited, off the 1982 album, So Excited.
So excited. I mean...
An album so nice, they named it twice.
When you got a good idea, stick with it.
Stick with it. So that came out 82, peaked at number 30.
30,
right?
Yeah. It didn't make a lot of noise.
Didn't make a big splash. Proportional to how excited they were.
Sure.
But, and this I didn't know, 84. Remix!
Yeah, for the album Breakout in 1984, they remixed the track, re-released it as a single, and it took off.
Yeah, number 9?
Number 9 in the US single charts, yeah.
So it's kind of prophetic, right? The first one was So Excited, didn't do anything. The next album was called...
After So Excited?
What was the one that the remix was on?
Breakout.
Yes. See, and it all came together, you see?
They broke out.
Look, do you have anything, Pointer Sister history? Do you want to inform the listeners on the Pointer Sister history at all? Did you have anything there?
Well, it's kind of focused more on the time around the I'm So Excited.
Well, yeah, give us a little bit of, spin the yarn. Give us a little bit of... background.
Well, they started performing in 1969. They started off as more of like
gospel, right?
Yeah, doing gospel, a little bit of country.
Were there
a little bit of
soul? Was their dad a preacher or something like that? Or?
I think so. I don't have that in my notes.
I don't think he was. I don't think that the parents wanted them to go into pop though.
No.
They wanted to be. Gospel singers, right? So that's the sort of area they came from.
I think Ruth was the matriarch.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, I'm thinking more about the time period, so 82 to 84, when I'm So Excited started to take off. It's kind of a very different song for them.
And if you look at the rest of their catalogue, right?
Totally. And it wasn't even their biggest hit. They had other songs that charted higher than I'm So Excited did, but it seems to be like the most long witstanding song of theirs, the most popular song of theirs.
And I mean they touched on which you don't really know until you sort of go down the rabbit hole with them a bit, but they touched on so many genres before they sort of got to this. Like, I mean, you find this on disco compilations, right? Not that I'm not going to say disco sucks here. Not on this podcast.
No, this isn't the place nor the time.
I mean, what you don't realise is they did so many genres.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, Fire was another one of the hits.
Yeah,
written by Bruce Springsteen, obviously.
Performed by Elvis.
He wrote that for Elvis, I'm pretty sure.
I think he did write it specifically for Elvis.
Yeah. So, I mean, they had a sort of long and storied career before they came to this song, right?
Totally.
But it's arguably the song they're most remembered for.
I kind of feel like, I'm not really sure. It's a very different song to the rest of the songs on So Excited. Not so much Breakout. They were more kind of in that 80s kind of synthy realm then. But it kind of feels like it's them trying to stay relevant as they move into the 80s, because they were really big in the 70s. So they're maybe heading in a different direction, or kind of seeing which way the wind's blowing in the 80s.
Yeah, definitely.
Heading that way.
It's so weird too. Well, not weird. I'm sure there's an analysis for it, but... And I'm sure we can find so many examples as the podcast progresses of that one... outlier song that ends up being and I mean, look, they perform it to this day. You know what I mean?
They're touring in the States at the moment, and it's called the We're Still So Excited tour, you know? So
I'd really question that. I'd love to ask him. I'd love to sit him down and go, come on.
I mean, they're consummate
Professionals.
Right?
They would be excited.
They are.
I had a bit of random Pointer Sister facts.
Please, hit us.
Which we were talking about earlier. Sesame Street. Now, if you're my age, you grew up with Sesame Street.
Indeed.
Actually, as an aside, who's your favourite Sesame Street character?
Ooh.
I was a big Ernie fan. Bert and Ernie were always my favourite.
I'm a big Bert and Ernie fan. Probably Oscar the Grouch.
Maybe that makes so much sense.
It makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? And maybe a little bit of Snuffleupagus actually.
Yeah.
There as well.
Snuffleupagus, was he just an elephant without the ears? Was that and with some fur?
If I remember correctly, and it's been a long time since I saw Sesame Street, he was like a woolly mammoth elephant-y type creature. But he was imaginary. He was Big Bird's imaginary friend, if I remember correctly.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, geez, that got a bit dark. So what? All the other kids can't see him?
I can't remember. I think. No, look, I'm nowhere near Snuffleupagus expert.
Okay, right. We're changing the podcast. Forget this.
All right.
It's Sesame Street myths.
It's an investigation podcast now.
But I digress. Anyway, I brought up Sesame Street. The Pointer Sisters, one of my favourite memories of Sesame Street, as I'm sure it is yours, was the jingle, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That.
I love that.
Do you
song.
remember that?
I do.
I watched the video clip. It's on YouTube. It's a super psychedelic.
Sure.
Like, it's insane.
Sure.
That is sung by the Pointer Sisters.
I had no idea.
That was one of their early gigs.
That was one of theirs. That's amazing.
And why isn't that on the best of?
Hey, it should be. That's a fucking excellent song.
It is
for a kids show.
The fact that we're a couple of steps from 82 years old and we still remember it, I think means that it's a pretty good jingle, right?
So yeah, definitely.
Well, let's talk about, so Monster of a Song, a bit of an experiment for them.
Yeah, written by the Pointer Sisters and by one Trevor Lawrence, a composer and a saxophonist.
Their sax player, I think, yeah. Now, I'm not sure if he played sax on this track. But he was their sax player.
He was credited on the track as being the sax player.
Oh, he was?
If I remember correctly, but I don't hear any sax on there.
It was the 80s, a lot of synth.
Well, look, sax is going to come up a lot in this podcast.
Yeah, so get used to it.
So that was our segment, Sax Appeal.
Yes.
We're going to have one for harmonica as well. I haven't thought of a clever name for that one yet.
Please stop. I think we've got a bonus episode there.
Sure,
Sax Appeal.
The Sax Appeal episode.
So Trevor Lawrence has some
what a dude.
Monster credits. The one I was most surprised about, that I had absolutely no idea, was he played with the Paul Butterfield Blues Band.
Right.
Paul Butterfield was a blues harmonica player, probably my favourite blues harmonica player. And please go and check him out. So he played with him for many years.
Do you like a bit of blues?
I have been known in my younger years to enjoy some blues music.
Yeah,
as so many middle-class white men before me have enjoyed.
Other people that he played saxophone.
The blues is the roots, everything else is the fruits.
Oh, shit.
Okay, there it is, deep.
So it sounds like some Mingus action happening there.
No, if it was Charles Mingus, he'd be telling us to shut up. But he's played with a lot of people.
Trevor Lawrence, yeah.
You got some other guys?
He composed and wrote and played saxophone for Etta James, Stevie Wonder, Leo Sayer.
Really?
Yeah.
Sick. Marvin Gaye I had.
Carly Simon, B.B. King.
Whoa, the Rolling Stones, that was a big one.
He's done some stuff for modern rappers as well, Eminem, 50 Cent.
Really?
Stuff like that, yeah.
That's fantastic. The one I really liked was the original Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the soundtrack. There you go. That's piqued your interest. There we go. I Want to Feel Dirty, I do.
Sure.
That's a song from it, isn't it?
We're still recording. Oh,
sorry.
It's a song. Yeah, sure. Speaking of movies like Rocky Horror, the song was also used on quite a few movie soundtracks.
Movie films.
National Lampoon's Vacation in the theatrical and the VHS versions of the movie.
Which one?
So
the original one?
The first one.
The first one. Wow.
Hollywood one, yeah.
Wow.
But in versions after the VHS, so DVD and whatnot,
they didn't use it.
They don't use it. I guess maybe they couldn't afford to use it on later.
Chevy Chase probably complained.
Oh
dear.
Heading into dangerous territory.
Yeah.
Also used on the Eddie Murphy's version of The Nutty Professor.
Eddie Murphy and a relationship with the Pointer Sisters. Perhaps that might come up again in the podcast.
Ooh.
In weeks to come.
Sure. Do you want to touch
like
on
Sax, Eddie Murphy will be featuring heavily in this podcast.
Yeah.
No, so Neutron Dance was in Beverly Hills Cop.
It was. It was also on the same album as the remixed version of I'm So Excited on Breakout. And it actually charted higher than I'm So Excited did.
Really?
Although if you asked anyone on the street today, Neutron Dance and I'm So Excited,
why did we
not
think of that as a segment? It's a Vox Pops.
Man on the Street.
The Man on the Street. Hello.
Coming soon to Careless Whispod.
Yeah, coming soon on all over Careless Whispod.
Just a couple more movies. Hot Shots Part 2.
I reckon we get... this is very a provincial comment here.
Yes.
We get some good fodder at Marrickville Metro. It was Saturday afternoon talking to people about the Pointer Sisters.
Oh yeah, right at lunchtime I reckon. That would be the best time to do it.
Well, Genevieve's waiting for a bloody McDonald's. Anyway, sorry.
I also wanted to just touch on really quickly...
Did you say Hot Shots Part 2?
Part 2. And
so Bad Comedies really like this song.
Yeah. And speaking of bad movies, Transformers Revenge of the Fallen featured I'm So Excited. I don't think anyone knows that because no one
saw the movie. Yeah. So the producer, Richard Perry, now I looked him up. It was just like, it's a who's who. So Richard Perry, the guy that produced this track, I'm just going to list this out. Rod Stewart, Ray Charles, Barbra Streisand, Carly Simon, Ringo Starr, Tina Turner, Diana Ross, Harry Nilsson, Julio Iglesias / Willie Nelson. I don't know what that song is, but I want to hear it.
I want to hear that collaboration.
That's what I want to hear. Art Garfunkel, The Temptations... Patti LaBelle, Neil Diamond, Randy Travis.
Wow.
The list goes on. Captain Beefheart, Fats Domino.
Captain Beefheart.
Ella Fitzgerald. Like, the list goes on. It's just like...
From the Pointer Sisters to Captain Beefheart.
And it's just, you look up his picture and it's just like, this guy is the definition of music industry heyday bigwig, right?
Sure. Does he have a nice rug?
He had luxurious blonde hair.
Oh.
But I don't know how old that press shot was. You know what I mean? But like, I think about like that's back then, and this is we're sort of going a little bit off topic. But can you imagine? Things have changed a lot in the music industry, and I think that's something that's going to pop up again and again over Careless Whispod.
Definitely.
In various ways. But can you imagine that's the 70s, the 80s, the height of the music industry in its power, the money that would have been involved.
Being around that, the money, the drugs. All the crazy shit that would have happened behind the scenes.
A lot of people do podcasts about that. Yeah. I just like to imagine.
Sure.
You know what I mean? You know,
purely speculative here.
Purely speculative. The podcast.
Some podcasts are investigative. We're purely speculative here at Careless Whispod.
Careless Whispod. I just want to bring up real quick there was some monster players on this, aside from people already mentioned.
The musicians on this thing, it was insane.
A sort of who's who of musicians in the sort of 80s. Lee Ritenour on guitar, who Grammy Award winning long storied jazz career. Nathan Watts on bass, who again played with Stevie Wonder, the Jacksons, Diana Ross, the Temptations, Lionel Richie. And again, I think that sort of plays back into what we were talking about, just... Oh man, to be in that room when they were recording it. Can you imagine?
I was researching the song and I was looking at each musician. Probably a good 90% of the musicians that played on that song had something to do with major motion picture soundtracks as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I saw The Bodyguard in there. There is a few...
Well, we'll always love you.
We're recording.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry.
But also they worked with people like Kenny Loggins, Toto, Quincy Jones, stuff like that. I mean...
Many of whom will feature on this podcast in weeks to come. And you'll hear us spraying our proverbial gooey load all over this microphone in front of me. But I think we can't... the whole point of Careless Whispod,
yes,
apart from just talking about how much we like pop music,
yes,
is to really dissect and analyse and appreciate more than anything else the medium of the video clip.
The film clip is going to play a big part in a lot of these songs, I think.
Actually, no, we're in the 80s. Now, is this the revival of MTV yet? I don't think it is. Are we... You know how MTV had this sort of revival, or are we in peak MTV?
Seeing as we're purely speculative here, I'm going to say it wasn't quite.
Yeah. But let's talk about this video clip.
Sure, yes.
Now...
It's directed by one Kenny Ortega, who was the director of Dirty Dancing.
Yep.
He did a lot of choreography work, but he also directed a little video by a guy named Billy Squiers. For a song called Rock Me Tonight.
Now, Billy Squiers, I actually quite like. We used to cover a song called Big Beat by Billy Squiers, which is a fantastic song.
Is this with...
many years ago. Let's the band that shall not be mentioned.
Sure, okay.
Fantastic stuff. But yeah, they didn't really nail the machismo of Billy's stuff, really, on this video clip for Rock Me Tonight.
I mean, that's a video clip just worth going. Just press pause and
go and watch it and then come back to us. Okay, ready? Okay, go. Did you watch it? I told you, didn't I?
I probably did.
Yeah, I told you, didn't I?
Did you finish yourself off afterwards? I know I did. But speaking of finishing myself off, the beginning of this video...
Well, it caused a bit of controversy on its release.
I mean...
As did I. I was in public at the time.
It was pretty sexy.
Oh, man.
It was the Pointer Sisters getting ready to go out to a big club. Mm-hmm. We had Anita Pointer putting a makeup on in like a little negligee and stuff.
Yeah.
Ruth Pointer in a nightgown just rolling around in a bed. And
it's good work if you can get it too, isn't it? It's good work if you can get it. But the piece de resistance.
June Pointer in the bath, in a big bubble bath.
Now, there's a bit of controversy in that scene.
Yes. So June gets out of the bath.
Yeah.
And many people speculate that you can see her... where she gets so excited.
Yeah, okay, yeah, no, I understand. She can't hide it.
Her vagina.
Okay. I'm so excited. I just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control. You can see my vagina. Hooey.
Brilliant.
Now, has anyone given this the basic instinct test? Do you know what I mean?
Well,
surely someone has slowed the video clip down.
Well, look,
let's do it now.
Let me just say this. I don't think you can see a vagina in it because once I heard about this controversy, I watched it over and over. And I didn't see it at all.
For the sake of science.
Oh yeah, just purely for this podcast.
For the sake of science.
No other reasons. But the whole first part of the video plays like a old phone sex line video.
Yeah, just without the number down the bottom. If you cut
the music out and put in some public domain like smooth jazz, and had a little number and like a voiceover saying, "Oh, we're waiting for your call."
For your call, yeah.
I mean, there's no difference between that and a phone sex
Can we have you doing that for the Sax Appeal episode?
Oh,
We're waiting for your call.
I mean, I think you just nailed it better than I did.
Well, it's not only a hobby, it's a job.
Sure. I know you've done voiceover work before, so
Yeah, for sex lines.
yeah. Any in particular that stand out?
No.
Good answer.
No, good answer. But look, it's not only so it's quite a sexy beginning to the song, but
Hooey, it sure is.
I think this. I'd argue that this video clip has one of the greatest double takes.
Yes. So when it cuts to the club,
they're in the club,
sure,
and they walk past. There's a fantastic double take, and the thing is, you can't really do a double take on a podcast. But
no.
So you just need to go away and watch the double take. Hang on,
we'll pause again
there,
so you can watch that video.
Blink and you miss it. Am I right?
Yes.
That is one of the best double takes I've ever seen.
Which kind of leads us to talking about the background actors in this video, wherein I think they're more dancers than they are actors.
100%, yeah.
The Pointer Sisters get into the club. They're sitting around the table drinking champagne.
Dark Club.
Oh, sorry. The club.
Thank you.
And they've just got all these lecherous guys kind of standing around hiding behind plants and eyeing the sisters, and they kind of...
It's indoors. It's indoor plants.
Indoor plants, yes.
Yeah.
They've had enough sitting around and drinking, so they flip the table and they get up on the stage. The Pointer Sisters do.
They're excited. They can't hide it.
They're too excited to sit around and... and so
I'm
they
about to
start
lose
singing.
control. Here's my vagina. Ooh wee. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
So that's when the dancers kind of really
shine. Yeah.
Like they do such an excellent job just on the dance floor there, and the whole thing ends with the Pointer Sisters starting almost like a conga line out of the club. And I have a theory about this. I reckon they made that part of their performance so they could leave the club without paying for the table and the champagne that they were drinking.
With that in mind, Gary,
yes.
Let's get down to business. Favorite part of the song?
Favorite part? I mean, there's so many bits about this song I like. This is definitely one of the songs that is behind me wanting to do this podcast.
Yeah.
And it's got.
You've done a terrible job at hiding it. Let me just.
Well, I just can't hide it.
Yeah.
Here's my vagina. But I mean, it's got an excellent energy. There's so many little bits and pieces that I love about it. But if I had to narrow it down to one, I couldn't. I'll narrow it down to two.
I'll name them all.
It's the piano solo.
Oh man, that solo!
That solo is fucking excellent.
It's crazy to hear in sort of this disco song, for the want of a better phrase. You've got this honky tonk piano solo in the middle of it that just rips just fantastic. Yeah.
Well, there's that solo, and the other bit that is my favorite bit, and I don't know which of the sisters it is, but one of them spontaneously ejaculates towards the end and says "hooey."
Hooey. It's actually at 2:37. Minute 2:37. I noted it down, and it's actually panned left. So whichever in my headphones, I'm pretty sure it's panned left. So whichever sister is panned left.
I should have hunted it down and tried to figure it out.
I couldn't find it.
Write into carelesswhispod@gmail.com and let us know which sister you think it is.
Please. I got a couple of... Look, there's so many good parts of the song.
What is your favourite part?
I think where it just really builds into the last chorus and you've got the backing vocals. You've got, I'm so excited, look what you do to me.
Yep.
Ooh boy, you got me burning up. Like just the layering of it just gets you so psyched. It just keeps...
I mean, it's
almost like I'm so excited.
The song should be coming down by this point.
It's not. It just keeps building.
It's excellent.
I tracked down and I sent this to you, and I actually sent this to my girlfriend as well. We found a live version of this song, and it was like live from Michigan in like 1985, and you know, you're kind of going, okay, live version, let's see how this goes. We'll find the link and we'll link it on this, when we upload it, we'll link this live version. It is red hot. They are... I'm going to be honest, I had goosebumps. You know when you just hear voices so powerful, and I sent it to my girlfriend and she just went, those voices are so powerful.
So powerful.
And we were talking before about, like, I think we're a little bit desensitized to it now. Pop music now, and 100% this podcast is just about us being old and not liking modern pop music. But pop music now, I think we are desensitized a little bit to this thing, to the studio and to this thing called
auto-tuning.
Auto-tune, you know what I mean?
And the Pro Tools productions and all this
And you
kind of
listen
stuff.
to this live thing and go, no, that's not auto-tune, they're singing it. And one thing I wanted to bring up really quickly before we finished was actually another podcast I was listening to a while back, which is actually about country music. Tyler May & Co., who is the son of a country music artist named David Allan Coe. Now, if you don't know who David Allan Coe is, look that up. But his son does a podcast called Cocaine and Rhinestones, where he looks at sort of
sent me that.
the myths and legends sort of behind country music. He does one particular episode on the Louvin Brothers. Now, the Louvin Brothers, probably their most famous tune is a song called Satan is Real. And the cover of Satan is Real does the rounds on sort of worst album covers of all time.
I've seen it
on the internet. You probably would have seen it sort of do the rounds. Fantastic. Now, they were brothers that sort of played together for years and harmonized. Now, he sort of brings up the concept of blood harmony. Blood harmony is just, I don't know if he coined it or who coined it, but when people are related, physiologically, they're so similar.
Right, you were telling me about
the
that.
harmonies are sort of eerie. And it made me think, I can't help but feel the goosebumps you get when you listen to I'm So Excited and many other of the Pointer Sisters songs doesn't have something to do with the fact that they're sisters. You know what I mean? And physiologically, their bodies are similar, so those harmonies are just that much closer.
That is such an interesting theory.
You know what I mean? I don't know if that's true, but, you know, there's just something we as humans, I think, find so interesting about harmony.
Sure.
And I think more so, again, when they're related. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe there's something in there.
Wow. There you go. The podcast that makes you think about cheesy pop music in the 80s.
Well,
we've gone in depth.
We've gone in depth. But what are we like? What song are we going to do next? Do we have some kind of way of?
Well, Jeremy, it's funny you should ask.
You've come prepared.
I've got a little bit of a playlist here, and it's all songs that that both Jeremy and myself have added to that we want to cover in the podcast.
Can it be like a? Can we just pull all the names out of a hat? And we'll reach in and pull it out.
We've got technology on our side.
Oh right, okay. No,
I
was really excited for something really interesting.
You thought it was going to be the hat game.
I thought it was going to be the hat game. Or what about?
Well, I thought we could make this like a little bit of a game.
Okay, yeah. How are we going to do it?
I'm going to open the playlist. I'm going to hit shuffle.
Yeah.
And we're going to see who can name the song that's playing first.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay.
So here we go. The song that comes up now is the song that we'll be covering in the next episode of Careless Whispod.
Okay, here we go. Oh, it's Private Eyes.
Private Eyes by Hall & Oates.
By the mighty Hall & Oates. Oh, I couldn't be happier with this result.
Excellent. So that will be the song that we cover on the next episode of Careless Whispod.
Thank you for joining us.
Until then, and before then, I've been Gary.
I've been just Jeremy. We don't even have nicknames.
Nah, we don't have nicknames in this one.
And
I just realized that we didn't introduce ourselves at the beginning of the podcast.
That's all right. People know who we are now.
And if we episode blunders, it's fine.
If we can leave you with any wisdom, it would be: if you are excited, don't hide it.
Hide it. it can do.
If you're about to
damage
lose control,
like it.
ooh-wee.
And on that note, that's been Careless Whispod, episode 1.
Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.